to, and let me just check one thing before I say that. Let me just go to Giuseppe first of all. A long time no see. Hope your daughter's doing better as well. I know she wasn't particularly well. 2-0 up. You drew 2-2. Talk to me.
Yeah, man. Cheers for that. And happy to be back. First of all, second of all, Arsenal. Yeah, man. It's just that. I don't want to keep going the league in, the league out, but like when Liverpool have gone and won in the last minute, and then we go and do that, you can't really imagine anything happening in the league. The game, comfortable weren't the word I would use for the players now. I just think they're fatigued mentally, physically, the manager maybe as well. I don't know what's going on with these. I'll be honest, I don't know what's going on with these guys. But that game there, 2-0 up, we're all thinking we've won the game. That's it, we've won it. You can't let this slip. After after they're the team as well. Come on, bruv. Have a bit of balls about you. Have a bit of something about you. This team done you last season and was the reason you did not win the league last season. And then you go 2-0 up and you concede 2 goals in like 12 minutes. Yeah. And they're 2 exactly the same goals pretty much from either side. I think it showed maybe that we didn't have Saliba at the back. Shouldn't really be an excuse. As we said, we've had enough transfer windows for that not to be a big issue. But I feel like that may have been the issue today at the back. But I don't know, man. It really bugs me, bruv, because like people are saying, when you're only bringing Raheem Sterling, that has been piss awful and come on and actually affected us negatively, when he come on, it's a problem. But we've had how many days to address this? And if I see Arsenal sign someone that has a release clause, I'm going to be even more pissed off, because I'm going to be like, you could have done this at the beginning of January and we may be closer to Liverpool right now. So it's hard, man. The thing is, I'm here and I've been done.
We're getting Rashford, bro. Don't worry. We're getting Rashford, mate.
I wouldn't be surprised, mate. But like the game itself, I thought we actually didn't have a bad game. We had a bad 12 minutes. I thought apart from that, we were pretty all right. Towards the end, it was getting a bit desperate. You could tell they wanted the win, but it's too late at that point. Very rarely do you let a 2-goal lead slip and then go and win it again. I don't know. I don't really feel like that normally happens too much. Definitely against a team like Aston Villa. So it is what it is. All the Arteta out stuff I'm done with. He ain't going, so I'm just done with it. I feel like we need to just put a pin in it, because at the end of the day, we're not going to sack him mid-season. It's just a whole another discussion that don't really need to have more negativity on the club. But yeah, we need to sort it out. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't give a crap about the handball, if it was or wasn't handball. I don't really give a crap. We shouldn't really rely on that. So yeah, listen, we can go again. We got to keep pushing, because you never know. But we just got to fight for a pride at this point. Just keep winning games so you can be in a shout and a bit of pride, because right now this team ain't showing us no pride at all. Like today, really, it pissed me off, because as I said last season, the reason we didn't win the league was that Villa game. When we were battering them, as you said, Tel, we were battering them in the first half. Should have been like 2-3 ahead. We didn't win the game. We end up not winning the league because of that game. And then this happens. You're 2-0 up and you just can't see the game out. And it just shows a lack of maturity and a lack of, I don't know. I don't blame Arteta today. I blame the players. Just lack of quality, lack of depth.
I hear you, mate. And I get your point about Arteta and Arteta out. I understand people have the opinions on that, but when you know he isn't going to be sacked, there is an argument to say it's just a waste of energy to sit there and consistently talk about it after every bad result. But listen, anyone who calls in, anyone on the panel wants to say it, feel free to. We don't control you in that way here, but I get your point, if that makes sense. It's like us debating which one of us is going to get the Beyonce single. Which one of us is asking her out? Well, she's saying no to all of us. So there's no point us even divvying up who asked her first. We're all getting told no anyway. Let's move on. Brandon,
Before Brandon comes on, I actually come here and everyone is I'm the neutral here. Everyone is here as an Arsenal fan. Everyone is expecting rivals. I'm not a rival to say that we shit on Arsenal and everything. I thought Arsenal were very good today. Very, very good today. Arsenal played amazing football today. At 1-0 up, to be honest with you, at 1-0 up, I expected Arsenal to defend deeply. They didn't. They pressed Aston Villa. They looked for the second. And even after the second goal, they looked for the third. I thought Arsenal played amazing today. The problem at Arsenal today is that, as Giuseppe said, is a little bit of concentration and focus and mental stability at the back. But Arsenal, literally, like I've been criticizing Arsenal all season, right? But I thought Arsenal today did the job in terms of going forward. You scored 2 goals against a resilient team like Aston Villa at home. You went 2-0 up. And I think that at that point, Arsenal should see out the game, as Giuseppe said. Literally, that is the job done. 2-0 up against a resilient Aston Villa, pressing them and playing magnificent football. They would move the ball really well. Trossard had an amazing game, to be honest, on that left side. He terrorized Aston Villa. But again, the problem is concentration, is the mentality, which is now I'm starting. Now comes the criticism of Arsenal a little bit. Is that, do they have the mentality to see a game like this where Aston Villa never died? Aston Villa at 2-0, they kind of believed in themselves. I saw Emery making subs, believing that the game is still on. And that is a question of a mentality. The reality is, right? I'm being serious. It's a question of a mentality. It's not a question of quality. It's a question of a mentality. The foul, the free kicks. And I don't know if anyone disagrees with me. I know that Brandon would disagree, but Arsenal played very well today. Going forward, you scored 2 goals. You were clinical. Even Kai Havertz scored a goal today. Great movement in the 18. And he was great. Trossard played well on that. Martinelli played all right. He kind of, Ian Maatsen really had a howler today. And he was subbed at halftime because Martinelli literally took him to school. So in terms of going forward, Arsenal looked good. Very good. They did everything against what they said in the beginning of the season. If people disagree with me, they disagree.
For once, it wasn't the attack that was the problem.
Thank you so much, at least, yes.
It's crazy saying that because it has been that for the past, 5-10 games now. It was merely sort of, we didn't have a proper right back. Like, had we had a right back, he would have been on Watkins for that second goal, and we wouldn't be talking about this. But no, we have to play Partey at right back because this is what Mikel Arteta does. It is pissing me off now that we are playing a midfielder at right back that clearly isn't working. Yes, we are playing Lewis Skelly at left back, but that's clearly working. Partey at right back, we've won 1 in our last 7 games with Partey at right back. Doesn't work. Play Kivior, if anything.
I hear that. I just want to say, Mo, on your mentality point, again, I'm only speaking as I am a rival of Arsenal, but I'm not emotionally invested in the game. When they went 2-0 up, my thought was, fair play Arsenal, a good response to that deflating news that Liverpool won it late. 12 minutes later, I'm looking at it and I'm honestly thinking to myself, the fuck's happened there? It was ridiculous. It reminded me of watching Man United, where we can be looking really good and a few minutes later we can be losing a football match.
You said it many times, Terry. When Man United concede 1, they capitulate. That's Arsenal today. What happened?
Yeah.
Why when you conceded 1 goal, you capitulated like this? Why did you look like the second fiddle team on the pitch at 2-1? That doesn't make any sense. That's not Arsenal, to be honest. Arsenal normally find it hard to play against different teams. They're like, this Aston Villa team, yes, they went 2-1. Arsenal should have seen the game out. I don't know. I really look exactly like you. I'm like, what the fuck happened there? Well, why is it 2-2? I don't know. Maybe the Arsenal fans can explain.
It's complacency. I don't know, bro. Those 2 goals that they conceded was very, very complacent defending. You look at Matty Cash's cross. It wasn't a great cross. It was a decent cross, but not a great cross. The fact that Ollie Watkins had so much time and so much space to get a shot on. The fact that the first goal was allowing someone like Tielemans, who's not known to be a poacher, not known to be a good fox in the box. He's known mainly outside of the box. To get
a goal. Speak on that point.
The fact that those 2 players, both Cash and Digne, were allowed to get a ball into the box in the first place, is just complacency. I think those 2 complacent moments practically cost them the match.
Mentality. It's just about the focus and
mentality, Mo.
Yeah. It's like I don't know. Like I'm not gonna talk about Arteta and Arteta out, and I'm not gonna. We have to stop there. Yeah, he's staying. We'll get Arteta out, Arteta in. It's just.
That first goal,
sometimes, yeah, I'm like,
that first goal was so criminal. By the way, I don't know what Marino is trying to do, trying to go in with his foot. Just dive with the header. Just dive like what Tielemans is doing.
But if he dove with his head, he wouldn't get to the ball anyways. The only way to get to the ball was to put his leg.
Like, if he makes contact with a player, it's a penalty. So he was literally in a lose-lose situation in that moment. I don't know what he was thinking of doing.
I mean, I think today was an example of the experienced pros letting down the squad. I mean, you had Partey and Moreno who have come in to add
who come with a wealth of experience, supposed to be players that in any type of game supposed to calm it down, handle these kind of experiences with some level of maturity, and both of them went to sleep. I mean, Partey's bird watching for the second goal, and Moreno doesn't get goal side, and that's criminal, and that's criminal. There's a lot of people that want to talk about the manager, and there are many instances where the manager does deserve criticism, but today was not one of those games. You're 2-0 up and you're coasting, and then you have two experienced players, the elder statements of that squad, and you're looking at that squad and you factor in the fact there's no Ben White today, there's no Tomiyasu, there's no Calafiori. The manager obviously doesn't depend on Kivior, and I know there's a lot of talk about managers' players and who the manager wants, but I think it's evident that Kivior is not a player the manager wants anything to do with, and there's issues in recruitment because he never leans on him. Otherwise, had he would have slotted straight into centre back and Timber would have played in his rightful position. But it just shows that there's some sort of issue in terms of the recruitment.
But
I think he could have done a lot. He could have done better. Like when he saw us concede the first goal, because fair enough, we were playing well. We were 2-0 up. We conceded an own goal. Fair enough, it happens. He should have made a change then. Like I think he was too reactive at 2-1. Like I don't rate Jorginho, honestly, I don't. But if you bring him in, you see Moreno was not having the best game, and you want to control the game a lot better. And that's one thing that I'll give Jorginho. At least he's good at that. He's good at dictating pace, controlling the game. And this is why I'm saying some managers would react a lot faster. I think he only kind of reacted, well, because he had to, after we conceded the second goal. And we're just low on confidence right now. We saw this happen a couple of seasons ago when we were 2-0 up against West Ham.
Right? I don't think he needed to make the changes. I don't think he did because apart from that second goal, they did nothing. It was just these players on the pitch dilly-dallying, sleeping. That's all.
But Giuseppe, that's a sign though. When you concede the first goal and Aston Villa are on the up, it's obvious that there's a chance they could come back, right? So as a manager, you need to make a change at that time. Right, he should have
as well.
You're not playing against a bum team.
I don't think
somebody like position, right? Look, you gotta know your position. We're playing against Villa, who are very transition heavy. Yeah, Morgan Rogers in that midfield is a unit. If they put him on Jorginho, we're all going to be sitting here criticizing why you bringing Jorginho into a game where he can get exposed.
I agree.
But Nathan, I'm not saying bring Jorginho and play defensive. I'm saying bring Jorginho to control the game and keep possession. Of course, don't bring Jorginho and play defensive. That's stupid. Then
Arsenal did. Arsenal did. But Arsenal still kept possession without Jorginho, Ash. The whole game.
Right. It's two errors.
We still had moments where they threatened us more.
Not much. Bro, Morgan Rogers was pocketed by Lewis Kelly, bro. Pocketed.
Exactly.
Bro, he was pocketed, bro. Declan Rice pocketed him. He didn't have a good game, Ash. I'm sorry. That is not on the manager, bro. That is not on the manager today at all.
I think we're scapegoating here because when you look at it, essentially, we didn't lose the game because we didn't control the game or we weren't offensive. We played a lot of the game in their half. We were the more dominant teams. Trossard was having his way with Matty Cash that game. We lost that game because two players made individual errors at a peak moment and momentum swung in the game. They had a 12 minutes where they took advantage and they capitalized. And then where we fall short is you look at our bench, there's nothing to respond to Villa. There's nothing there. You've got Raheem Sterling and a bunch of youngsters.
I think